Are you able to see my screen? Today we'll finish it off a little bit quickly. I have some other work. So fine. So in our previous session, we open this Visual Studio Code also. We have learned the basic introduction of this jQuery. So how we can overcome this jQuery. So the JavaScript things, how we can overcome by using this jQuery. We have seen it once. Fine. We have also seen some of the methods that are supported in the jQuery, which makes our life easier also. So nothing but these are all the code, how much we have decreased by this one. So we have seen it. And also we have seen what is a dollar and what is this dollar method. So dollar is nothing but the jQuery. And here we can give the function and also the selector. So selector also we can give it. So these are the different types we have seen. And also we have seen an overview of the jQuery thing, the library, how it is there. Now let's try to see one by one. So let's go by one in the jQuery. So here, if you try to see here, we understood about the dollar. Dollar is nothing but a jQuery. So it is a representation of this jQuery. So it is a method. Okay, it is we are calling this one as a method, and this one takes a parameter. One is a callback function, or otherwise it will take the selectors. So these selectors. So these selectors, as we already know about these selectors, the selectors in jQuery, what I can say is the CSS selectors, what we have learned. So all the types of CSS selectors, pseudo class selectors, class selectors, pseudo class, attribute selectors. These are all the selectors. Whatever the Css3 selectors are available, so all will be working here in this one. So $of. So like this, when we are trying to implement like this, so we can give all the types of CSS3 selectors into this one. So let's try to see some of the CSS3 selectors, how we can implement this one. So for example, let's say that I'll try to show you. Here I am having div. I say that I am having an UL element, and here I am having an li. Try to paste this. So we are having some of the UL and li elements. Now let's try to see if I try to show you the output of this one. Yeah. So if I try to show you the output of this one, we are able to see this hello world, and these are the list of items we are able to see. Now, normally in our plain JavaScript implementation, what you will try to do, so document dot get element by tag name, get elements by tag name of li. So we will catch using the li, and we loop over the each and li thing. Okay, so this is the one thing. And also if you want to do, you can also use this query selector like this. Now if you want to change the color of this one, so you can use something like $of li, or otherwise you can use this one ul space li. So that means inside the ul, so you can target the li thing. So we can target like this also. One second, let me somewhat zoom over you. Okay, so we are having $ul of li, and now here, so we can change the something like attribute of style, comma, so you can use something like color red. Okay, so you can use it like this, and if you try to see the output, inside the ul, inside the li, ul li main.js. We're trying to use this only, but it's not up. Any wrong in this. $of ul space li. Inside the ul, we are using li. Color of red I am using. Attribute of this one. We'll try to use this one something like, so why we got the problem is we are mentioning it in the head only, so still the JS file is in the head only, right? So because of that reason we are getting. Now we'll try to see the output. So now I'm able to see that color has been converted into red. Now this is the attribute selector. So we have used this one. So not only this one, we can also use, for example, if you have an ID selector, so ID is equal to list item. So if you are having an ID selector, you can also use this ID selector here, like this. Okay. Now you are having so like this. So you can also mention it like this. So now I am applying it to this UL. So now if I try to show you, so for example, let's say that for which one I have applied. Okay, I didn't save it. Okay, UL ID. So for UL I have applied it. So we should have only one unique ID. So just I have applied to this one. Now, so like this ID selector, what I want to tell you is that whatever the CSS3 selectors we are having, so we can apply like this. So for example, let's say that if you want to apply only to the first element, so only to the first element, if I want to apply means, so you can use the pseudo class selector, something like first hyphen child. So now I can use this one and I can make this one only the first one as this one. So like this we are having a pseudo classes. So we can use these all the pseudo classes and all those things and we can use it. So these are pseudo classes and we can also use the direct class, we can use it. So like this we can use it. For example, let's say that if you are having div and I am having something like anchor link ahref is equal to ahref is equal to http www.google.com. let's say that I am having something like this. I'm having something like this and here I am having https. So now for example, if you go into this one and in the console, I will try to show it in the console. So now we are having a two elements. Now if I want to if you want to show something like dollar of anchor link, so you know that we are calling with a tag name. So here you will be able to see the array of elements, anchor link and the anchor link. If you try to see here, so you will be able to see something like, I will try to show. Yeah, it will be somewhat fine. So now we are able to get dollar of a means two anchor links. So if you try to see, for example, where a is equal to dollar of a, and if I try to do a dot length, we will get it as 2. Okay, so the total we are able to find that, get the two elements. Now for example, you can also apply in a such a way that dollar of a, so we have learned about this attribute selector, right? href starting with http. Okay, so we have two things, starting with http. href is equal to, so we need to use the double quotes here. So now we are getting only one element, so that element is nothing but first one only. So it starts with only http, the second element starts with the https. So these type of CSS selectors also we have seen. So these type of things also you can apply. So not only this one, so now we have seen the selectors, how we are trying to get that from the DOM. So we are able to pick the element from the DOM. Now not only like this, we can also pass the HTML literal also. HTML literal means HTML text. For example, let's say that where div is equal to dollar of something like div. So I can write like this, and this is also, so this is also acceptable. So now if I try to show the div, so now we are having one div element. Now this one will be in the memory, and whatever the classes, add class, remove class, add style, attribute, whatever the things you want to apply, you can apply it to this one. And you can attach it to the DOM. So that is one way. This will be in the memory. Not only like this, so you can also add something like where div is equal to dollar of array of items also you can give it. So let's say that span Leela, I can use this one span, and this is one item, and here I can give another span, Leela. Also I can close this one span. So I'm showing you not only the selectors, we can also give the HTML text like this. Now if I try to see the div, so we are having two elements, Now you can also apply whatever the things you want to apply to the HTML literal, and you can attach it to the DOM. So like this, you can also add the HTML literals to this one. Not only this one, for example, let's say that for this UL element, where is this one UL element? Yeah, here this one is having an ID of list item. So if you are having, if you got an element with a raw DOM element, so something like, let's say that where UL is equal to document dot get element by ID. So like this, you got the what is that one, list item, right? So you should not mention the hash here. So now if I try, so now I am having a UL element. So this is the raw element. So I am having a raw document element. Now you can also pass this one. Now you can also wrap it in the jQuery. Now you can capture this UL element. Now all the jQuery flavors and methods, whatever the things are available, it will apply to this raw document element also. So that means nothing but in this dollar, you can also send this document dot get element by ID of list item. So I am trying to tell you this one. So like this also it is possible. So now we have seen the different types of things. That is nothing but, so we can allow anonymous function in the dollar. We can allow the anonymous functions or callback functions like this. Okay, anonymous functions is allowed. And also we can use the Css3 selectors. So we can use the Css3 selectors, different types. In which way you want, you pass into the dollar as a parameter, you can pass it. And we can also pass the HTML text as an array or as a single element, or as an array of elements also you can send it. And also we have seen the raw document element, raw DOM element also you can pass it. So like this, the different ways we can use it. Now for example, let's say that I will try to show you one scenario. For example, let's say that I am having a ahref is equal to, like this, I am trying to add an anchor link to this one. Okay, let's try to replicate this one. Try to replicate. I'm making it as some of on kind of list element. Now if you try to see here, so if I go to these elements of this one, okay, if I go to these elements, so how can I find this element is, so in the DOM you'll be able to see the selector for this one. So from starting from the HTML space body space ul-list item li and a. So if you want to use the selector, you can also combinedly you can use this as a selector. Something like, so traversing down from the HTML to the LIA element. So this A element. Up to the UL element, if you want to capture, you can capture it like this also. So in the Chrome also, it will show you the traversing path, how the selector will be. UL hash, that means UL which is having an ID of list item. So like this you can see it. Now for example, let's say that I am having UL, LI. So these are the UL and LI. So now you will be able to get the LI items like this, right? So we have also a method in a such a way that in jQuery, a find method is there. So find method, we'll try to tell you about this find method. So instead of doing like this, you can also do in a such a way that $of UL. For example, if I want to find UL inside LI inside A, okay, so that means what I am trying to tell, catch the UL, go inside the LI and inside the LI, and also go inside the LI and catch the A element. So like this I am trying to tell it. So if I try to do this one, so I am able to capture all the A anchor elements which are present inside the UL, inside the LI, inside the A. For example, if you try to see UL inside LI, LI inside we are having A. So that is the reason I am trying to tell UL, go to UL and go to inside UL, catch the LI, and go to inside LI and catch the element, like this I am trying to say. So in easier way, what I can do is, so if you are having longer, so for example, let's say that if you are having a longer set of hierarchical structure, if you are having, means you can say something like go to the UL and dot find of A. So you can use this like this. Now it will give you the same output. So now what it is trying to do, the find is, find will try to go to the inner roots like this. So wherever it will try to find. For example, let's say that inside this LI, I am having anchor ahref only. So now it is not inside the LI, it is only inside the UL only. Now these all remaining all anchor links are inside the LI. Now if I try to say about this one, Now we are able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 items. Now including the DSDS, it is able to capture. So now if you try to see, last one is this one only. So now find means it will capture, it will go to the inner roots of this one, and it will try to find the element which is having an A element. Okay. So like this. For example, if you want to do the same thing, so you cannot write that one. So you need to write something like LIA, and also you need to find, I need to write another selector, something like ULA. So now you will find only one selector. So UL greater than A. So UL space A means it will also find like that only. So like this you need to do it. So you can have a handy method, something like find method. So you can use it like this. Now let's say that the difference between this find, when we need to use the find and when we need to use another one, I will try to tell you. Now we have another handy method that is nothing but a children. For example, let's say that I am having an UL element. Okay. So now I am having an UL element. Now I want to find the children. So children for this one. So if I want to find the children for this one, what are the children for this one? Li and also an anchor element. So children means direct children. So these are. So now US children is Li and not the anchor element. So this is anchor element is a children for Li, not for the UL. So UL children is Li's, 5 Li's and one anchor element. So here you will be able to see the anchor element here. Now if you want to check only the children of A means you will get only the anchor element of. So children which is having an anchor element. So now here the children, so which each are anchor elements as a children means for UL it is only one anchor element. Now if I want to check for this children which is of type Li means I will get only the Li's who are children of this UL. Whereas the find, if you try to do the find of same thing, so find of A, if I try to do find of A means it will go to the inner roots including the children, grandchildren, like this it will go to the inner roots and it will try to get back all the anchor elements which belongs to this UL. Whereas the children, if you try to use the same thing, children means so only the children only it will try to get it. So now here you will be able to find the difference between a find and the children. Now this is all about this find and the children. So this is how we will be traversing using, not only using the selectors, we also have some fancy methods, something like find, children. So many methods are there. So you will be having so many methods, but I am trying to tell you some of the main differences which you will find a little bit of confusing about the find and the children. I am trying to explain you. Now another thing is, in the JavaScript method I have already shown you how to traverse to the topwards also. In CSS we can only traverse to the downwards. In JavaScript I have already shown you the parent thing, how we can capture the parent and all those things. We have seen it. For example, here we also in jQuery we have a traversing. For example, I am having an UL element. Now here we are having an UL element. Now I want to capture the parent for this UL. So if I want to capture the parent for this UL means just you can add a parent. So it will give you the immediate parent for this one. So if the immediate parent is nothing but a body. If you try to see, so what is the immediate parent for this one? It is a body. For example, if it is wrapped in a div. If it is wrapped in a div. Now the immediate parent for this one is div, and for this div the parent is body. Now if you try to see here, so now the same thing I will try to do it. Now this time I am getting it, I am getting the div as a parent. Now if I try to use the chaining thing, something like parent, so now what I am trying to do, get the parent of the UL, that is nothing but the div. So now get that parent of the div. Now what will be the parent for this one? As we already guessed, that is nothing but the body. Okay. So the body, this is another thing. Now you observe about this UL parent dot parent. Now let's say that instead of using this chaining thing, we can also use something like $of UL dot parents. I can use the parents. So up to where I want to do, I want to go up to the body. So now you can directly traverse to the, you can directly go to the body, or otherwise if you want, if you are having something like table structure, then you will try to understand it. So for example, let's say that I am having a table. We are having a t head. Okay. So I am having a tr, h, id and a name. So now I am again having a t body. And I want to do the tr, and I will be having a td. So inside this td I am having an anchor link. Okay. So table data or something like this, I will try to add it, and I will try to add another td. So for this one I will try to add a class. table data. So just is a small table. Let's try to see the output. So here we are able to see the output, table data, ID, name, and all those things. Now I know the class for this one, table data. Okay. Now table underscore data. Okay. So now let's say that I know the table underscore data. So now I have this anchor link. I know this anchor link. Now I want to traverse to the table. I want to traverse up to the table. So that means, so I want to go up to here table. So that I want to apply a class to this one or something, whatever the thing I want to do. So if, for example, if we are having something like two types of tables are there, let's assume. So we are having two types of table. Okay. Now, now I want to, so let's see, when we try to see this event handlers, then you'll understand it. So for example, let's say that I want to know this anchor link and I want to go up to this table and I want to apply a class for this one. So class or anything, I want to do some manipulations for this table. Now what I need to do something like, so now normally what I will try to do is dot parent. So now it will go to the TD. So now you'll get the TD. Now if you go here dot parent, now it will go to the TR. Now if you try to use the parent, so it is going one level up. So now if I try to use the parent, again it is going to table. So that means I am using a chaining of something like parent like this. So for example, let's say that I have wrapped this one. Oh, sorry. I have wrapped this one inside a div. So some cases we somebody has changed the HTML structure. Now what we have did. So now this is the parent. We up to here we need to get to the table. So if I try to click here, now this time we are going up to the T body only. Now previously we used to go to the T up to the table, but this time T body only. Now we need to add again another parent. Why it is happening? This one is, so now the anchor link has gone one level deeper. That is nothing but the div. So now this parent is div, TD, TR, T body, table. So that means one level deeper it has went into the table. So in order to avoid these type of ambiguity issues and also these code changes, so we can use handy thing that is nothing but a parent. When we need to use the parent and when we need to use the parents, I am saying. So now I will use something like go up to the table. That's it. So whatever the table structure it may be and whatever the design they have changed it or anything, until and unless it is inside the table, it will traverse up to the table and you can apply directly class without any problem. So now here you can apply a class parents of table dot. So you can add an attribute of style. I don't know whether it will apply or not. So let's say try to see. So background color red or something like this. Now you can apply this one. So now here automatically it has applied to the table. So this is how you can traverse. So within one line we can, instead of keeping this parent dot parent dot parent dot parent, if somebody changes the HTML means everything screwed up. Again you need to add another parent. But this one is a handy thing. So this is the difference between a parent and the parents. So when we need to use the parent and when we need to use the parents. So this is the thing. So these are some of the, what I can say is some of the handy methods. So we have seen about the children. Okay. We have seen about this parents. So like this, so many methods are there actually. If you want to see, you can go to the jQuery. And in the API documentation, so many methods will be there. We can't, so many methods will be there. So we can't go one by one. So add these all things. Okay, limit. To see selectors. Here's something like this. So here they have divided something like this. Okay, all the things they have divided. So you can able to see one by one. DOM insertion, DOM traversing, DOM insertion outside, inside, DOM replacement, DOM removal. So like this, these all the things are there. Append, prepend, add, unwrap, wrap all. So these are all the things. So many things will be there. You'll be having append. Append means it will append the element into this one. Prepend to means it will append before prepend. So these are all the different types of things we will be having. So now next thing what I want to tell you is I'll tell you some of the handy methods again. We'll go a little bit. So like this we can say check it, and here let's try to refresh this one. So we got a table. Okay, so we got a table. And for this table to apply the background color, what we have used is something like style, background color, red, something like this we have applied. Now if I want to apply something like another thing is I want to apply color green or something like this. Now it has changed it to green. So that means we are using something like some attribute of style, something like this. We are trying to use it. Okay, fine. This is one type of correct only, not a problem. So we are adding a new attribute, that is nothing but a style attribute, and giving the values for this one. But in jQuery there is also one handy method for writing a CSS code. For example, if you want to apply a CSS styles to this table, means there is one handy method that is nothing but .css. Okay, so these are pretty straightforward only. So now .css of background color. If you want to get the color of this one, so now it acts as a getter thing. So now it will give you the color, what is the exact color of this table. So now if you want to change the color, so you can use something like object. Okay, so you can say, you can pass number of things. So I can use this green, okay, like an object. I can use this green, and I can use this background color. So we can also use something like camel case also, we can use it. If you want to use hyphen, means you need to keep it as single quotes. Why? Because we have already seen about the object notations. So these things, if you want to mention, means you need to mention it as like this. Now here I can apply the red thing, same thing. Now if I try to apply, same, it has been applied using the CSS, but this time I am trying to send an object. So this one is more convenient rather than this one. For example, let's try to see. So here I am trying to apply. If I try to apply this one in the Visual Studio Code, now see how it will be. So I captured a table, okay, and I want to apply the CSS. This time I want to apply something like color green. So like this I can give background color. So here I can give the background color of red. So now this one is a handy thing. So now if you try to see, okay, I am passing an object in such a way that it is having a property value of color of type green, background color of red, and whatever the CSS properties you want, you can send it. So how you will be mentioning in the .css file, like this you can send it, so that the CSS will be automatically applied to this one. So for example, if you try to see, the same thing applied here. So this is the handy method CSS which you can use it. Not only the thing, so you can also get this one. So for example, if I want to get the background color for this one, I can also use something like background color. Okay, I need to use it in the single quote. So whatever thing, so you can use it in the camel case, or otherwise you can use it in the kebab case also, not a problem. So now, okay, we need to do the console. So this will return a value. This will not set anything in the DOM. This will return a value. Now you'll be able to see that it is in the black color. For example, let's say that before doing, I will try to apply a background color of red or something like this. You can also apply it like this, I think. So if you are having only one thing, you can also apply it like this, background color of red. So there are different ways of notation. See, I can apply this one. Now I got an RGB of 255, RGB ratio. R is full 255 and 00. So if you are having only one, what I can say, only one style, means you can do it like this. Or otherwise, if you want to apply multiple, means you can mention it in an object notation. So like this. So there are so many different ways. So for example, if you want to see it, means in the jQuery documentation, you can go here. I think you can search it. I think here CSS. I can check it, and here we can able to see the CSS property name. We can give property name is getter. It will be a getter. And here if you try to see property names, you can give it as an area for CSS more properties. Here you will be able to see it. Background color, this one will give a background color, and here he is trying to do this one. He is trying to get the values as an array. So as an array of values also we can get the items, it seems. For setting he is not given. Okay, I am trading for this one, getting the value. For setting the value also we can do it. So these are the different ways for getting the value is trying to say. Say for setting the values also, if you try to see the CSS, if you search here, some I don't know, so where it will be setting, getting, okay, CSS property value. Here setting the value he has given. Okay, at the top entire thing he has given as the getter, and at the bottom he has given entire thing as a setting. So now if you want to set it, means property name comma value, we have seen it. Or otherwise we can also give a function, something like that, and we can also give the all the things. So you can also mention the function he is trying to say. For example, if you are having a logic or anything, means you can also mention a function and you can return the value, particular value. So like this, so many ways we can use this CSS of background color. The another one what I want to tell you is the handy method which will come is, for example, let's say now here, try to show it here only. One, yeah. Now we are having this one. So I refreshed this document. Let's say that if you want to hide an item, okay, if you want to hide an item, so normally what we will try to do in this one, what I can say. So what I will try to do is, if I want to hide this DS item, so I want to hide this one. So normally what we will try to do is, so we will try to get this item. So what I can say is, for example, let's try to add a class for this one. Then it will be easier for us. This one. I will try to use some class for this one. Let's go into this and let's try to do the inspect element, and I will try to do the console. Now if I want to capture this something like ula dot like this, so now here you got an item, this one, and if you want to hide it, so I can use a method something like hide. Okay, so I can use it like this, so directly it will be hidden. Or otherwise you can use style dot display is equal to none. In the vanilla JavaScript you used to do document dot, so document dot get element by id of, I don't know, list underscore item or something like it. I have kept hyphen item. Yeah, dot style dot display is equal to none, then it will be hidden. So if you try to see, then it will be hidden. So this is the thing which we will be trying to use. Instead of using this one, we can use this dot hide. So now if you want to hide an item, so you can use whatever the element you want, you can catch it and you can do this hide thing. And if you want to show it again, so you can use this show. Okay, so this is also one way which we can which we can use it. So hide and show, these are the handy comes. Now for example, let's say that, so now whether it is hidden you want to show it, whether it is shown means you want to hide it means, so toggling thing. So you have an handy method in such a way that, so you can use this toggle method. So now if it is hidden, if it is showing means it will hide it, or otherwise if you try to do again toggle means it will show it again. Why? Because it is hidden right now. So now for example, if I try to use this hide thing, okay, now it is not there. Now if I try to use this toggle, so previously it was hidden, right? So it will try to check all those scenarios and all those things. If it is hidden means it will show it again. So that means instead of writing the conditions, if it is hidden please show, or otherwise show hide it. So like this, if you want to, if instead of writing these all things, you can use this handy method, that is nothing but a toggle, so that it will try to do, if it is shown means it will hide it, or otherwise it will show it. So like this it will try to do it. And not only this one, so we have another method something like fade out. Okay, so we have another method that is nothing but fade out. So if we try to do that one, you will have a small transition type of thing. So if you try to observe fade in, I will try to do this fade in. Okay, so now you will try to see some small transition type of thing. So it is appearing. So for example, let's say that if you want to appear it as slow, so you can add this one as fade out. So now it is there, right? Fade out of slow. Now it will slowly, it will hide. You can also mention that timing for this one, milliseconds, how many milliseconds if you want, something like 1000 means you can also apply. Sorry, it is already faded, right? So you can apply the, so within 1 second it will come. So like this you can also apply the timer, also you can apply it. For example, I want to hide this one. Okay, after
I don't know that.
For example, I am hiding out this one, and after hiding out I want to execute some functionality. So after successfully fading out this one, I want to execute some functionality, something like fade out completed. So we need to, in our normal projects we used to do that after the completion of this functionality, so we need to do some logging or something like this. So for example, if we try to do this one, so now after the fade out is completed, so you'll be able to see that fade out completed, the function what you have mentioned is getting executed. Not only for this one, so for hide also you will have the same thing. For example, if you try to use this show thing, now you will be able to get that one back again. And here you can write a handy method in such a way that, so you can use this one, something like this. So we'll try to apply the toggle, it will try to do the vice versa. So now if you try to see, after the toggling is completed, it will try to do again. So if the toggle is complete, it will try to do the execute the function, callback function. So this comes is a very handy way. These are all the things. So these are one of the fade out and fade in methods which you can see. Like this, if you go on discuss, so there are so many methods which we can implement, which we can use it. We'll try to implement one small project, something like that, after these all things. Then you will understand. So where we can use these all things. So after completion of these things, so now comes the event. So let's discuss about the events. So we know that we have seen all the different types of methods that are available in this one. So we have seen about the parents, these are all the things we have seen, how to traverse the DOM, how to do it, these are all the things we have seen it. Now let's try to see how we can handle the events in the jQuery. Before knowing this one, so you already know what is an event. As JavaScript is an event driven programming, everything happens is an event thing only. Everything in the JavaScript is an event. So event means, don't think something like very scary. So anything that happens, for example, in your calendar, if you try to see, it is an event. So you will be having an event, some task to be done, so something like that, some task, the event. So in the same scenario, JavaScript in the browser, if anything happens, that is nothing but an event. So we can get that event and we can do appropriately. If that event is occurred means, so we can do some functionality or something like that, we can do it. Common functionalities now what you will be having is, for example, let's say that, so page load events, events you'll be having is page load, key pressed events, button clicked events. So these are all the events which we will be having. Button click, form submitted. So these are all form submitted. These are some of the things. Window scrolled. So when window is scrolled, when the browser is scrolled, not browser, when the document is scrolled, window scrolled, and element focused. So these are some of the factors. So some of the sample things. So many things are available. So just I am telling you, these are nothing but, these are called as nothing but events. Normally what I can tell you about the events is, actually the handling of the events in the programming language normally does in two types. Normally, one second. The handling of these events means in any programming language, everything. So any event driven programming language, if you are having, the handling of this event driven means it will be happening in a two different ways. That is nothing but one thing is an observer pattern. So they will be using this two different types of thing, and another one is an pub sub pattern. Okay, so these two patterns only it will be having. Now observer pattern means how it will be happening is, for example, I will try to tell you one basic thing. So this it's an internal concept. Just we are learning about the events. I am trying to explain you. For example, we are learning about the events, right? So observer pattern. So observer event pattern, how it will be. So when we are trying to learn the Angular and all those things, so we will try to use this observer pattern. So that is the reason I am explaining you when we are going slow. Observer pattern means so this type of event handling. So this is one type of event handling. Observer pattern means, so here we are having a observers. Observer means nothing but subscribers. So waiting for data. So waiting for the data. And one subject will be there. Subject. We used to call this one as a subject. Subject means who sends the data. So he will send the data, and here some people will be waiting for this one. Subscriber 1, subscriber 2, subscriber 3. These are the 3 people waiting for the data to be received from the subject. Now subject holds the list of all the subscribers. Now subject maintains this list of all subscribers. Okay, this list of all subscribers. Now subject, when it sends the data, it will send to subscriber 1, subscriber 2 and subscriber 3. Whatever the thing he wants to do with the data, he will do it. Again, if any data comes means, again it will send it to the subscribers. That means here subject will hold, the subject is responsible for sending data, and also it is responsible for holding the subscribers. something like, let's say that I don't know example. What I can say is whether it may be a good example or not. Traffic lights, if you try to see the traffic lights, and here you will be having the cars or something like this waiting, car 1 and car 2, C1 C2, cars will standing. So now think of this one as a subject, okay, and these are all the subscribers, so waiting for the signal. So now if a red signal has come in, so that means red signal means it has sent the data, that subject has sent the data to the subscribers that it need to stop. Whenever green has came means, so now it has sent the data that green has came. Now the subscribers will respond to this green color, that means it needs to go. So that means this is a subject, it is trying to send the data, and also it is controlling these all subscribers also. So this is nothing, this is a bad example, so don't think like this. So just understand this concept that the subject is responsible for sending the data and also responsible for holding the subscribers. Now I will tell you the second scenario. This is this type of design pattern which you will come in an angular thing. So we'll use these observer patterns. Alt F new. So let's go to this another one. Publisher subscriber model. So normally we used to say pub/sub model. So this is the common thing, so which we in the programming thing, so if anybody will remember, so pub/sub model, okay. So comes in the IoT, these all the things you will be using this pub/sub model only. So now what is this pub/sub model is, for example, here you will be having a sender. So in your publisher, sender, whatever the thing, so who sends the data, so he will send the data, we will call it as a publisher or sender or anything. He will be sending a data, and here you will be having a broker, so we'll call it this one as a broker, okay. So this one they will be having a broker, and here you will be having a subscribers means which are waiting for to receive the data. If they receive any data, they will do the action according to this one. If they receive the data, they will do some logic according to this one, whatever the data they have got it. Now this publisher will be sending the data. Now this publisher doesn't have the knowledge how many subscribers are there. This broker will take care of everything. That broker will handle these all the subscribers and also this publisher in between this broker. And now this publisher will send a topic, okay, we will call it as a topic. We used to call it in terminologies we used to call it as a topic. Now he will send a topic or some message or data, whatever the thing, he used to send a topic. Now sending this topic, what it will happen is, this topic, whoever is subscribed to this topic, the broker will send the data. If nobody is subscribed to this topic means this one will be perished. And again, if another data, some guys is sending, again the publisher is sending a topic means he will send the data and he will tell to the subscribers. Now the broker, what it will try to do is, here the broker will have multiple publishers. Now he will have the multiple publishers and also the multiple subscribers. So he will be able to handle these multiple publishers and also the multiple subscribers. So little bit of difficult it will be, but this is a pub/sub model. You will be having publish subscribe model. But now why I am telling you this one is, the browser follows this type of publish subscriber model. So now here the broker is nothing but a browser. Okay, the browser is nothing but a broker. Okay, now the browser, we are waiting for the browser to receive the, now whenever the user clicks on this HTML document and all those things, the event has been triggered and it will be sent to the browser. Now the browser will send to the JavaScript thing. So now the broker is the browser. So this is the implementation which the browser implements. Here the broker means, so you will be having an event loop and event queue concept, is all the things you will be having. So you will be having these all the things in the event queue. Whatever the event has been sent, it will be in the event queue and it will send the data. So that is a different thing. Now observer pattern is not followed by the browser thing. So this one is followed by the browser. So broker is nothing but a browser here. This is the thing I want to explain you. So the common type of event. So for example, let's say that we already know that so whenever an event is fired, you will get an event object. You have already seen about this one. So we have already seen. So whenever you are using add event listener, so you will be able to get an event, and in this one you will be having some properties. Event is nothing but an object. Object, as you already know in JavaScript, is a collection of properties and methods. Everything you will have. So it's a property. Some common properties in every event. So we have seen about the mouse events. We know some of the set of events, keyboard events. So mouse events means, so you can say about this click, double click, and all those things. Keyboard events means key up, key down, key press, these all things. Form events, you will be having form events. Okay, input, submission, checkbox, checked, these all things. And you have some document events also. Document ready, document loaded, these all things. And you have some window events. Okay, so these are the different types of events you're having. So whatever may be the event, so whatever may be the event you have, so you'll be having an event object. You need to understand, so one common thing that these are all events. So whatever the event, so for example, if you are adding something like add, so if you are adding something like add event listener of click, so and you will be adding a event handler. Okay, the event handler means, don't think something like this. Event handler is nothing but a callback function. So you will be using this function, right? So event handler. So this is a function, and now this function will receive an event. You know this is an event object. This is an object. This is the object I am trying to refer you. And you have another thing, something like, and you will have another event, something like mouse move or mouse enter, anything. Mouse enter, something like this. We have another event, mouse enter, and you will also have an event object like this. So these are all event objects, whatever may be the keyboard input, form event, whatever may be the event listeners you are having. So you will be having an event object. Some common properties will be there in all the events. So you need to remember these things. Some common properties. Some properties will be different from event to event, but you need to remember some common properties. One thing is the event.bubbles. You know about this event.bubbles. So this is a Boolean thing. So if it is bubbling or not, we will try to enable this. For example, if you are clicking on a button, so whether it is trying to bubble up the event or not, so it will return you the option. So true or false. And another one is event.cancelable. So whether this event is cancelable or not. So these are common things which in every object it will exist. Like this event.default prevented. Don't remember everything. Event.prevent like this. Event.target. You will have this event.target. So you'll be having some of the common things. So you can search in Google. You'll be able to see it. Event.type. Event.type is also one of the common thing. Event.type means nothing but what is the type of the event. Whether it may be a click event, mouse event. So these are the things. So these are all the what I can say. These are all the common event object properties. So you need to understand properties, event object properties, which will exist in all the, still somewhere are there. So just I am telling you that some common events are there, so which will exist in all the event object. And another one is the common functions, which I want to tell you is the common functions. Common functions is something like composed path will be there. So composed path is a different thing. So it's a shadow DOM to regular DOM. So doing that one. So when it has moved to shadow DOM to regular DOM, this one. Prevent default. Prevent default. You will be having a prevent default. And we have another one is a stop immediate propagation. I will try to tell you about this one also. So why? Because you need to understand the performance techniques also. Stop immediate propagation, and we will have stop propagation. Okay. So this is one thing. For example, what I want to tell you is whenever you are having I will tell you these things also. So whenever, for example, let's say that you are having a button. Let's say I am having a button. Okay. So now this button is present inside something like hierarchical base. So this will be in HTML. HTML, it will have a body. Inside the body, you will have the let's say that container, div container. Okay, div.container or something like this. You will have a container, and inside this container, let's say that you are having a buttons div buttons container class, which is having a div buttons. Inside this div, you are having a button. Okay, so this is the hierarchy you will be having normally when you are trying to write the HTML. So you will write HTML inside HTML body inside div with class container, and inside this container you will have a div with button, and there you will be having a button, something like this. I don't know whether you may be understanding or not. So for example, if I want to click on this anchor link, okay, So this anchor link is in which place? So from traversing from the top, HTML, body, div, ul, li, and anchor element. So like this is the hierarchy. That is the same thing I want to explain you. So this is the hierarchy you will be having. Now whenever the user clicks on this button, first what it will try to do is, so you will be having two phases, capture phase and another one is the bubbling phase. Okay, so normally in a HTML JavaScript event, whenever we are trying to fire an event, so you'll be having two phases, that is nothing but a capturing phase and bubbling phase. So what is this first capturing phase is, first it will try to capture the button. Where is this button? Present. So you will be giving the selectors, right? Inside the ul, inside the li, inside the a or something like this. So you'll give some Css3 selector, something like that. Now it will need to capture the element. First is a capture phase. So it will traverse from right from the starting. HTML, it will go to the body, it will go to this div, it will go to this div, and it will find the button. So depending on this one. Now when this button is captured, now the event will fire and the bubbling phase starts. So it will go to this one bubble, it will go to this parent, it will go to this parent, and it will go to this parent. So here you will be having a capture, traversing down, capture phase, and this one you will be having it as a bubbling phase. Okay, so whenever you use this stop immediate propagation, so now stop, why I am trying to tell you is stop immediate propagation. So you are trying to sell that stop immediate propagation. Okay, you are trying to tell about the stop immediate propagation and stop propagation. So when we need to use this one is stop propagation means, so whenever we find an element, okay, it will stop this propagating to the outwards. Okay, so for example, for this button you have two types of events. Let's say that for this button I'm having two types of events. Let's say that I'm having a click event, and also at the same time, so we are having some other hover event, mouse over event we are having. So two types of events we are having. Now for these two types of events, whenever an event occurs, two phases will be there. That is nothing but a capture phase and a bubbling phase. Now on this click thing, okay, so when we hover on this one, so this one will happen, and also at the same time when you click on this one, both the things will be happening. When you use the stop immediate propagation, okay, if you use the stop immediate propagation, so whatever the capturing phase and bubbling phase is there for this mouse over and click, everything will be stopped. So if you try to use stop propagation, so if you try to use the stop propagation, now it will try to stop the propagation only for this click. So mouse over will try to propagate again. So mouse over will try to propagate everything. But when you try to use the stop immediate propagation, for this button, two types of events are going on. But if you try to use the stop immediate propagation means this mouse over propagation also will stop propagating. So that is the main difference between this stop propagation and stop immediate propagation. So that is the thing I want to explain you. That is my main thing in the events. So we'll have we have a lot more things in the events thing. So you already know. Before continuing to this jQuery, I am trying to tell you about the events concept. Now if you want to do, so for example, adding an event to an element, okay, adding an event to an element. So what are the different ways you will try to do adding an event to an element? Normally I remember according to this one, so we are having three ways. So I have already seen you implementing. There are normally three ways of implementation. One thing is you will be having a button, add like this, you will have a button, and what you will try to do, so here you will write something like on click, and you will try to do something like function. So you will try to execute a function. So this is one method. So you will try to include it in the jQuery, in the HTML itself. Now the another method of having this one is directly changing the properties of the DOM. So this property, when we catch this document.getElement by ID like this, when we catch that button, so you can change the property of this one. On click is equal to, you will write directly the function. So just I am recapping those events, so which we have did already before continuing to this jQuery event. Now another thing is you are using a add event listener. So that's the reason I am not writing the code again. Just I am trying to recap again. So add event listeners. Now I will try to tell you this is the wrong way of implementation. So why? Because so you are trying to write the view logic combination with the business logic. So you are writing both the thing combination with the business logic. Okay, you are writing the view logic means nothing but the button which is visible in the browser, and you are trying to write the business logic on click. So this is not at all correct way of using this one. And the second one is on click. So what is this one? What I can say is the disadvantage of this one is, so you can add only, so if you remember, I don't know, only one event to this one. So for example, if you want to add another event handler, only one event handler to this one. If you want to add another event function for this on click, means we cannot assign it. It will override. So for example, if I want to add another one, button dot on click is equal to function, another function if I want to execute on this one, so these both functions will not execute, so only the last function will execute. So that means this function will be overridden. So this is the disadvantage of this event handler. Only one event handler we can use it. Now this add event listener is, this is the best way of representing. Why? Because so we can add multiple event handlers to the DOM element. So that is the main thing. In the same way, for removing this add event listener, so we know that remove event listener, okay, event listener, what is that one? So type of event, so click event or something like this, you need to mention like this, and also you will mention the function name. So what is the function name you want to remove it? So this is the event listener you'll be using. So this add event listener also you'll be having what is that one? So click and the function event handler, and you also have a optional thing that is nothing but capture true. Capture true means it will try to capture phase. I have told you, right? The capture phase also it will try to do it. So this is somewhat advanced thing, so don't bother about that one, but I am trying to explain you. So this is how we will be using this event listeners in the normally in the what I can see in the JavaScript in the browser thing. So now we will try to implement how the jQuery. So now for example, for applying in this one, what I can say in this browser thing, what I can say in this in the jQuery, if you are applying these all things, so jQuery take care of all the browser compatibility issues of handling these event handlers, event object, these all things jQuery will take care of this one, and it provides us in some handy methods for handling of these event handlers. We'll try to see this about these event handlers in the next session. So this is all about this basic introduction of this event thing. So how the event will be fired, what are the different types of event types you will be having, the properties, objects, and different ways. Just I am trying to recap you before writing this jQuery thing. Why? Because when we write the jQuery, everything becomes very easier. So that is the reason I am trying to do. So now in the tomorrow session, we'll see about the events thing, how to handle the events, how to stop the propagation thing, immediate propagation, how we will take and do it, event delegation. So I will try to tell you about the event delegation, how we can do these all things. I will try to tell you. So this is